The views, opinions, and representations expressed on the K-Ghost Radio Network and its website are those of the host, guest, and participants, and they are not necessarily those of or endorsed by the network, its affiliated stations and broadcast, management, or advertisers of the network. The show is found under LGA Broadcasting Network. UFO Talk Radio can, but does not necessarily promote any particular lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only, and they are not intended to treat or diagnose and or claim to cure any disease or condition, or give any medical or legal advice. All music is purchased and owned by LGA Broadcasting.
I got the windows rolled down, got the radio up, and I'm heading out of Vegas tonight. And it's a 1:30 on a 4-day run, and the desert is a welcome sight. I can see you there in that dress you wear, and it's keeping my foot on the gas. I drink a gallon of Joe just to make it back home and hold you in my arms at last. There's a full moon shining, lighting up the highway like a beacon to you. I can make it.
You're listening to Glenn Larry on UFO Talk Radio from the LGA Broadcasting Networks. From deep in the desert of Nevada, broadcasting to the world, it's the Glenn Larry Show. Are you ready? What you are about to experience is real. Right along with us. From deep in the desert of Nevada, the Glenn Larry Show.
And I do love that thunder. I do bid you welcome, everybody, whatever time zone you might be in. And let me tell you, it's good to be back. And what a beautiful, beautiful couple of days I've had doing a lot of stuff around the station, tell you for sure. To all my late night drivers out there, I do say hello. And to all the ham operators and sidebanders, 73s to you. Silent Key, Whiskey 60, Baker, you know who that is. And of course, K6RCL. Galita, we say hello to you also. All the affiliates out there and private broadcasters and small broadcasters in the LPFMs, LPAMs net, we say hello to everybody out there. K-Ghost FM 101.3 AM 1610. Community Hobby Radio Part 15, we say hello to you also. And to KPFF in Pahrump, Nevada. Oh, what a station they've got. Tune into them when you're up in Pahrump, Nevada. They're fantastic. Yes, you can't miss them. And like I see for everybody all over the world, we do thank you very much. And say hello to Dee and Ken if they're listening tonight, and Neil and Barbara over there in London, England. So many out there, Randy and PA, of course, and Ed and Lou and Jonathan in Texas. Everyone out there, we do welcome you. What a show we're going to have tonight. Yeah. I told you about this gentleman, the captain. We've had him on before. And the Galactic Guardian Air Force and more, I'll tell you for sure. And he's going to talk about that whole situation. About the new stuff coming up, what's been happening in the space, the Galactic space folks up there, the Guardians, and what they've got, what they're doing, and what they've been doing, what have you. Now, in Alaska, there's been a lot of sites out there, a lot of things happening, a lot of things being said. And I got to turn down this FM station on the other side. There you go. And a lot of stuff's been seen. From discs, from fiery discs, from I'm going to show you something right now. It's been seen up there, pretty crazy. Yeah, this long tubular thing. Yeah, you see it there on the screen. Pretty crazy. And it has lights all over it, like it's like a huge ship, but it might have people inside there. You never know. And of course, a lot of people are seeing this. Of course, they're seeing this right here. This orb come off these ships that are coming to Earth. And that's quite odd, but they've been reported. And of course, you got this is live on a camera, and it's the real deal, by the way. We'll show you another one up here. Quite interesting. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's happening more and more and more. And we talk about this all the time. If you see something, report it. Let somebody know. Move on, by the way. There's always will take reports. Give them what you got. I mean, it's worth it because we've got to document all this stuff. And maybe someday we won't have to document it because they're going to be right in front of us. And it may happen. I think there's something really on its way, to tell you the truth. I really do feel that, everybody. And, but we're going to have the captain on. Actually, right after this commercial here, I'm going to do a PSA for everybody. We'll be back right after this.
There's no typical meth user. I was from an upper middle class family. Meth is terribly addictive. My first time using it, I was hooked. There was no turning back. I lost my job. I was homeless. I never thought I'd see my family again. I have a great fear of meth because it took so much of me. I mean, it took everything. Meth took over my soul.
Visit our website at drugfree.org. A message from the Partnership for a Drug-Free America.
And last little too. We say hello to the also the Pioneer Saloon out there down there in Good Springs, Nevada. Old Man Liver, what a great place to go and enjoy yourself. I go there all the time and visit. And I want to tell you, they're always having specials and always having the bands on the Fridays and Saturday nights. Friday nights is, of course, karaoke, but the daytime they have bands, and the Saturday and Sunday, just a lot of fun. If you get a chance, come by and see our little Historical Society Museum up here in Good Springs, Nevada. A lot to see. I'm telling you, what a cool little town. Have to wave out to, of course, in Kennett Square, and Creekside Diner, out to Karen out there in Pennsylvania. Oh, yeah, she does a lot of stuff for the EMS, for all the fire and police and rescue guys. And, it's a great place to go. I enjoy every time I come down and see her. And I'll be out there, I promise you. I'm going to get out there, I promise you. I know, I see what's on there. Yeah, I can see it. I'll be there. I'm the Chief Hall, Station 23. We thank you and all you guys down there. I do have a cool picture of that fire department, everybody. And I got to put it up there. And if you've seen, this is huge. I mean, my little fire department, you could put this, you could put our station in their station. And I have it right here as I'm thumbing down quite quickly. Hope I don't miss it. Yeah, these guys are great. These folks, they're great firefighters. Avondale, Station 23. There it is. Looks like it's state capitol or something, but those bays are full of emergency equipment, and they do a good job. And, well, I tell you, I love the folks. Okay, we're going to go into the show now. And I'm going to open the show. I'll open the lines at 7:30. That's right. And I'll be taking your calls. And you can ask the captain anything you want to ask him. And remember, this is the Galactic Guardian Space Force and more. And he'll talk about that. Captain, are you on the line, sir?
I'm here, Larry. How you guys doing?
Welcome back.
On again.
Yes, welcome back to the show. We've had a lot of emails. Folks are asking, hey, when are you going to have the captain back on? And here we are.
Yeah, great.
So,
Excellent.
well, now, here's all these ships that are showing up all over the world. And if you've heard them, you've read about them. The latest thing, I guess, was this thing in Florida, which we kind of debunked and whatever. But hey, what's the newest with you? Go ahead. We want to know.
Oh, thanks for having me on, guys. Hey, Captain back here. Yeah, so there's been a lot of activity in the skies. That's our Space Force fleet. Our Solar Defense Forces have been working with the Earth's militaries and hooking up new satellite with SpaceX and Tesla, and sending these new signals into the planet to uplift everyone's way of thinking and consciousness. And that's why we have all our satellites and ships positioned in Antarctica. And we're going to start opening up the gates. We've located these Stargate systems.
Stargates.
To bring interstellar ships in. And, well, you guys are going to have a grand show of seeing our fleet, our Solar Defense Forces and Settlement Defense Force fleet come through, and we're going to revamp this place up.
Really? Oh, my God.
Sure.
I mean, how is that going to happen? Are they going to have is it just going to, a big, huge circle is going to open up and all these ships are going to come out, or what?
It's going to be a grand spectacular, like the solar flash, that's just a metaphor of, having such a enormous fleet come through. And, and us finding Noah's Ark, the Ark that we've all been, always read about. Well, that's all the 144. That's spoken of in the Bible, and that's the message, is that, sending in all these ships here and putting all the technology, it's really allowed us to have a new perspective of how we see our lives and where we're headed in the future. Because that's how we get all this technology and all the information is from these ships. And that's why I've been in the program, the secret space program in Delta 8, and built this whole new fleet and contacted the Galactic Federation, if they've been here, and getting them everyone synced up to see the grand solar flash.
When this flash happens, is this when the gate's going to open?
That's right. Gates are going to open. These gates are going to. They're all getting. It's like in the Bible, it's spoken of. Halo be thy name. Well, there's a halo system of these stargates, and they haven't been hooked up, and so that's why we've been working. Basically, it's like a intercausal space network to allow free trade of all these ships coming through and have new beings come through and have this new galactic society and a whole new type of lifestyle, because the whole collective has been asking for God. See, God stands for the Galactic Ordos of Divinity. So, we've all had this idea that, what is God? Well, God is this huge enterprise, just like in Star Trek, the USS Enterprise. And this enterprise is these galactic heritage beings and hierarchical beings. And, you're about to have a whole new lifestyle come through.
So let me explain to my, again, just kind of simpler forms. These beams coming down, are these from other life beings, or from the huge ship? Is it going to be different type of ships, or would it be one huge beam? How's that going to work?
Well, we've got one of our ships that is positioned over North America.
Okay.
And it's over 3,000 miles in diameter. We have these cloaking systems, just like in that picture right there, the image right there.
Right there.
And
okay.
These ships have other ships that can go inside the ships. And, we have some of these ships are like 5 kilometers. I mean, now you're just seeing, as you raise the frequency with our inversion technology, and that's why I brought this technology with Galactivision, and it syncs you up to have higher node points or time structures in your mind. It's like, it depends on what you're looking at in life. So this technology is allowing you to see our ships, and we're having a transfer system where, you can go into the Space Force, go into space, and become a part of Starfleet Command.
Wow.
And that's why we're here, because it's spoken of in the Bible, those without vision will perish. And so this has been the big movement. We all have to understand that life is infinite, and the story of God, now we've gone beyond the idea of religion, and it's more based on science facts. So see what has been science fiction, and everyone calling everyone crazy about extraterrestrial, which just means land beyond Earth. Okay, and so that land, we've broken through that barrier, and now we're having a whole new perspective of how we view the world and what God really means. So God is the Galactic Ordos of Divinity, and that's always all good. So we've come to, bring relief funds in the form of technology, new ways of upkeeping ourselves, and with the technology of the Regenerate that I created and brought to this planet, it syncs you up into a capacity to be able to actually, disseminate your life and to move forward and to become eternal. Because that's what God always represents, the eternalness of becoming a part of God. And that's with the Space Force. See, the Space Force basically has been the secret space program over the last 100 years. And now we've come out and said, well, this is our secret space program, and that's why many beings across the planet are seeing ships and these triangle ships and these huge ships that they've all been thinking that they're clouds. That's our optical cloaking technology. And as we will move into a new age, you're seeing what's already and always been there. Because the clouds have always been there. It's just now we have to perceive clouds as ships.
Interesting. I know a lot of these clouds do like ship, or like look just like ships. Is there a ship inside the cloud there? Is that what it is? Covering that? The cloaking device is coming off?
Yeah.
If folks, you can see this. There's many of them, different ones here. They're quite obvious what they are. Interesting.
And this technology allows you to see what's happening, and it helps to evolve your consciousness. And that's the part of the inversion technology that allows you to move through time and space in your mind and with your vessel, meaning your body. Okay. That's why we've gone on these temporal missions, these time travel missions, okay, with the Space Force, Solar Defense Forces, and what's always been known as the Silver Fleet. And we've been, having these talks, these intergalactic talks and intergalactic communications, and creating a new type of structure for Earth. A whole new causal, a whole new causation. And, we've gone on these missions on Earth to redirect the flow of energy, meaning like we've taken over all the airwaves, and so we can broadcast, the new vision of what all the beings in the Federation we call it Holy Terra. That's places like a scientific research center or a facility where we can study and, live in peace and do missions of scientific exploration for our bodies and for everyone to live happily ever after, pretty much. That's what heaven is, a state of mind.
How long do you think it would take us to get where you're saying we're going to be? It's going to happen.
Well,
how long?
It all varies. The variation it's already here. So we have to always remember that, like, what was always going to happen is like Murphy's Law. It's like we've always been going towards this age with life. Life is meant to head in new, higher directions. And so that's why we brought the Delta 8 team in, and to make that connection with everyone. Say, hey, look, guys, we come in peace. Imagine having all these beings and our past loved ones come back, and then we unload them off the ships. That's the whole premises behind saving all the children. We've gone back and we've seen, there's many of us that have passed away in previous wars that were not supposed to happen. And now we're going to make everything right.
Right. So in a time, okay. Do you think it's going to happen in a year? Is this gate's going to open or sooner than that? When do you think?
Sooner than that, yeah.
Okay. What are the signs?
Really
what are some of the signs we're going to see before this happens?
Well, you're going to see a lot of big changes with a shift of power and a shift of consciousness, where these beings here, it's called a walk-in system, where it allows basically like heavenly beings to come here and to teach, just like Jesus spoke of in the Bible. It's always about, it's always been about God first. It says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Well, that God is meant to be the galactic ordos of divinity.
Mm-hmm. Are these beings the aliens, the Greys?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of different beings out there. If you like that, that's like a codex. Like we were deciphering what gray was, and well, come to find out, it's our Space Force. You know, like it's like a gray Jedi system. It's based upon like your value of the planet, and all these new teachers are coming here instilling a new faith in what God is.
Are some of them
And,
here? Are some of them here now?
Yes, there are
they
a lot here.
Are they the tall blondes? What they call? What are some of the name of the groups that are here?
Yeah, the Nordics and the Pleiadians.
Pleiadians. Mm-hmm.
Yep, Pleiadian beings. We have
Okay.
blue eyes,
All right.
brown hair, blonde hair. But more importantly, it's our conscience level. Like we all look very different, and yet some of us look very similar. And it's like a frequency, like a family of frequency. And we all know everything life is about frequency and vibration. And so this vibration that we brought in allows all the heavenly knowledge and heavenly beings to ascend and to become, their highest and best selves. And that's the Starfleet. So it's like a frequency that's always been here. And now we get to play in that energy, and we all get to, play together and create this magnificent symphony that was always supposed to occur.
All right. Well, some of these folks think they're angels or demons. I mean, how are folks going to accept these beings? I mean, if they're not on this level that you're talking about? I mean, to get to that conscious level, you have to be in a certain place and a certain thing in your mind. It just doesn't change. Click, you have this, you're open. I mean, Can you help me with that?
Yes, and that's why we've come here to explain to beings, like the word demon comes from the word daimoon, which is like your alternate, like higher self. And, there's like we have two choices in life to believe in: the good, or the evil, heaven or hell. So it's whatever you have chosen to believe in is what you'll, I guess, walk into with your life.
Okay.
And so, we're here to basically show everyone that, there's no evil, there's just God. There's just the Galactic Orders of Divinity. And it's almost like a huge enterprise or company that we all came here to learn about God and to have certain positions, and to also, but more importantly, is to all talk about God and to make God manifest as the Galactic Orders of Divinity.
So if they believe they've done wrong on earth, they're going to go to hell or go to heaven. How's that work, of course? But within your folks coming down, the divine, do they make that choice to go to hell or heaven right there and then when this happens? Or
yeah, and that's why we've come here. Like we want to, that's the whole idea about the Savior program. God at certain points of the species evolution, like we go to many star systems, and we liberate many, many, many different factions of the human soul covenant. There's not just us here. There's other beings and other star systems that we have to go. Like the government here has been oppressing the mind, and spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, electrically, magnetically. And so what we've come is to teach a new way, okay, the heavenly way. It's as why it's called the Force in Star Wars. See, all these movies have just been showing us metaphors of what's going to occur.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been up to us to decipher, like, what are you going to believe?
Right.
But it's always been there.
Uh-huh. Huh. Interesting. Wow. So you're saying within this coming year, maybe something's going to happen. I feel something's going to happen. I don't know what, but I mean, it's right there. And does our government know much about when it's going to happen also, or it's going to be a surprise on them too?
Well, with everything in the universe, everything is governed by God, which is a space force, like, I don't want to say the word military, but it's in the nature of that, and that's the whole premise behind the Galactic Guardians. Okay, like, and it's a guardian program, like like we have beings here that have been caged in, and we say, you know what, it's time to unlock the gates, heaven's gates. And it's time to usher in this golden era of God and bring a new personification of God, and that's why I was able to go up into these ships, speak to them, because that's what the premises behind my call sign is Kal-El, which in Hebrew scripture means the voice of God, which is the voice of the Galactic Federation, emissary sent here, okay, millions of years ago, hundreds of thousands of years. There's time gets a little, consciousness gets there's so many points of consciousness, when you go through, and you're moving through these gates, and then you come to figure out, well, it's always meant to be this way, and to bring the ships here and to allow a new way of being for all humanity to not only see and to witness, but to really feel that impact of what it's meant to be about, and be a part of God.
I've been told and heard from others that they have been molded to go to these schools and these academies back in the day into space. Is that part of your group too?
Sure is.
Okay.
It's a great question. This is a cathedral of God. And a cathedral is a church. It's a learning center. We call these living light exchange centers. So we're going to bring everything of what has always been there in the form of all these angels, okay, and from beyond. And we're going to start teaching, what it's like to be a galactic and to join Starfleet. And with this technology, it gives you, unlimited access into what our field of studies.
Right.
So you can adjust your life to becoming, part of the Starfleet command. I mean, what better legacy? Like we all came here to leave a legacy. What better way to leave a legacy, than to join the forces of God and to become at your highest. And that's why we brought this technology. I brought this here from the far reaches of space. One guy, went up against all these ways of oppression here. He spoke to God and said, God, it's time to bring in, and usher in a new lifestyle, because beings just aren't really happy with how they're living their life. So we want to ensure, the survival and the safety of all humanity by ushering all these ships and to bring in the St. Germain World Trust Fund. Isn't that great?
Yes, well, it would be. So these folks that I've spoke with, and I've heard different shows, said they were taken when they were younger to be part of this whole big thing, and then they came back and they remembered that they were part of all that. And so are they on a kind of a dormant type of silent thing till they've been woken up to say, okay, you're on, time for you to go to work? Is that how it works?
Yeah.
I mean, are they sleepers more or less?
Yeah, it's like a sleeper cell.
Yeah.
Like we've had many agents here, and well, now we have even more agents coming in. And as the new age dawns, we'll see, with this new frequency that we have with Galactic Vision. And when you tune into that, it starts to kind of plug you into our network of higher learning, higher education, and learning about, your soul self and your oversoul. That's our operating system. We all have a deep level, systemic level of, what God is. And this brings up that God in you by joining the forces. There's only one force, and join the force of God, and we give you that access and, allow you to become, like a God, because in the Bible it says, ye are gods. So when you join us, it gives you a whole new access to, the realm. Everyone in the Galactic Federation, we call it the realm.
The realm.
and this is like the real life. Yeah. This is just one realm of many realms, and it gives you a higher access point to move through the realm. And that's why we're going to go colonize Mars and other parts of the solar system. So we're looking for new recruits who want to hop in the Space Force. You know, it's like hopping in like a new race car.
Right.
Okay, like you got a brand new body, got a brand new mindset. Now we can move through space, and well, we're going to show you guys what it's like to become a galactic guardian Space Force.
Can we go to the this method of abduction? I mean, why would they take us like that when we're going to be doing this already? What we're talking about? I mean, is it a separate part of this whole thing, or what? How's that phase into?
Like yeah, great question, Larry. Glad you brought that up. You know, we've had many beings here for a long time. You know, just kind of sitting at idle and resting until a specific point in their life, kind of like a jack in the box. You know, you wind up that thing and you get a lot of tension, and then you start to move forward in your life into new ways of being, and then boom, you know, you're just there. You know, just like with your show, you've been preaching this for 30 plus years. Well, now it's finally it's coming into fruition. So that means it's always been there, and you've always been tuned in to a higher frequency, and you can see the difference of where people and their personalities are at and their souls are at. And that's what we come to look for, is beings that are talking about and have been talking about this their entire life. You know, so we've been looking at this show and saying, well, this guy's amazing. You know, he's been getting the message out.
Well, I
so,
do.
You know, just from me and Space Force and the Galactic Guardians, everyone, you know, we just want to say thank you to you and all your listeners.
Well, we do thank you. We're going to open up the lines, Captain. And folks, this is the Galactic Guardians Space Force and more. And you can see the Delta, Space Delta 18 right there. And we were going to open those lines up, and right after this commercial. So stand by. We'll be back with the captain. Exciting can it be? I'll tell you. Pretty interesting, I'll tell you for sure.
Love it.
People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of their people.
Violence, theft, drugs, graffiti. It's all part of joining a gang. In times like these, we need to protect our children and our community from gangs. Gangs often prey on unsupervised teens with low self-esteem, who perform poorly in school, who seek a sense of belonging, or are simply bored. Joining a gang often involves violent hazing rituals. Once in a gang, members can become alienated from their families, school, and friends. Drugs, guns, and malicious activity are common elements in gangs. Trying to leave a gang can be a difficult and dangerous process. The best way to get out of a gang is never to join one. Protect kids from being recruited by a gang. Know who they're hanging out with. Involve kids in after-school activities and provide positive role models. Help reduce gang activities in your community by working with local law enforcement and school systems. Don't let a kid you know get involved with gangs. Visit ncpc.org to learn more or contact your local law enforcement agency.
A message from the U.S.
He is
Department of
back.
Justice, National
Now,
Crime Prevention Council,
on
and the
UFO
Ad
Talk
Council.
Radio, Glenn Larry. To talk with Glenn Larry, deep in the desert of Nevada, lines are open at 1-702-874-1114. That's 702-874-1114. Now, here again, Glenn Larry.
We are back with the captain, and we'll be taking calls now. Our lines are open. Captain, again, we do thank you for being a part of the show tonight. We've had you on before, and the numbers are high. I got to say, with this abductions going on and things like that, and along with these sightings in Alaska, a lot's been happening up there. Do you guys pick areas where you go and just materialize and there you are, or is this just kind of a learning thing through the earth that you're doing? Or, I mean, why do you pick certain areas? Are you drawn to certain areas? I know if there's a nuclear
Yes,
thing,
we
you're
are.
there. The nuclear thing happens, you're right there to zap and put out the nuke. I understand. What more is it? What else is going on?
Yeah, great. That's a awesome topic. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, like when there's water, there's more energy. It's kind of like in your, like with these living waters. Water is a living structure. It's a technology that we brought here, and it powers everything. There's land and there's water. Well, there's different type of structures of water.
Oh yeah.
And with this technology, with the Galactic vision and the regenerate, it's spoken of in the Bible in the book of Acts. Okay, and so this technology allows you to be in a lucid, which means you're more fluid. You're not so uptight. Okay, so this allows you to have lucidity. It's like a lucid technology. Okay, we call it LIT. It's lit. It lights you up to become a Christ being and a member of God. You have to, through every stage of development, whether it be in the Bible or the Quran, there's a beginning point and there's an end point. Well, that end point is just a new way to see as a beginning. And it's been instructed, and all around the world that God is going to return. Well, God is here in the form of the Galactic Ordos of Divinity, Galactic Federation, our SCP Foundation, Solar Defense Forces, Galactic Vision, SpaceX. It's all a part of God to show us, there's a better way. There's a better way of how we're perceiving our life. Okay, and we want to really reinstill that to everyone that when God comes, things operate in a whole new sense, a whole new faction of manner. And the fact is, well, God's here, and we all have to get accustomed to a new way of living, and share this space where we can, build better worlds, because that's what God does. God always improves upon itself and says, this place is up for renewal. This place is up for a whole new, like a revamp with our Guardian program, our Space Force. And what better way to, serve self and serve God is through, with the Space Force and becoming a Galactic Guardian and a Light Force affiliate.
Well, we've seen a lot of the skies and things happening, and we don't know what they are. And if it is you guys, I think we're ready about now to see what happens from a triangle situation that people are seeing. I mean, people are seeing strange crafts that glow and everything else, and and they're being seen from all over.
Biting at the chomp, like a horse. We're like,
right.
When's it gonna happen?
Right. We're seeing all this stuff out there from the Navy, seeing their stuff, and it's pretty interesting. I want to ask you about the ice wall. What's that all about?
Yeah, our ice wall program, Operation Fishbowl, and the ice wall, and the ice wall is we've had water here, and many millions and billions of beings come through, so we're going to need new living waters. So it's like a storage of information. Imagine having water that's been set there for billions of years. That's why, like, all the ice out in Antarctica, it's blue. It's a bluer. It's fresh. It's a higher vibrational technology that we've frozen. So because cymatics is basically time. That's basically been frozen in time. It's just technology, and we can hold that technology, hold that frequency. And when it's time to open up the gates, and we can create new pathways for that to happen through drinking, and bring these huge icebergs and having fresh water for the planet, and a whole imagine having fresh water on the planet, and there's no more disease.
Nice. Yeah.
And that's what God does. We bring in a whole new, you have to bring in everything. It's not just a ship or this. It's the Master Chief. I've brought in all this technology for us to explore new avenues of our life. And to make us that higher race of beings.
Right. Interesting.
It takes being a leader in life.
The global warming, is that all part of this whole thing too, or is that just a natural thing that's going to happen anyway?
Yeah, that's always going to happen. That's just the planet warming up for what's about to occur. And that's always going to happen. Absolutely.
Now, I've had up on the screen these ice walls. Can you explain how this aircraft, what we're seeing here? We are seeing a white long bar, more or less, from the sky, from the earth, and these are ice areas there. What are we seeing here?
That's one of our huge motherships. Imagine a huge, like a cylindrical shaped object that can house billions and billions of beings, and to allow for extra dimensional space travel. And that's with this place is this is the most sacred spot in the universe. That's why we hold it so dearly in our hearts and our minds. And when we come back here to check on all the inhabitants and to figure out how can we make life better here for all the human race in the Galactics. And
I'm going to open the lines again here for us. Stand by, Captain.
To talk with Glenn Larry, deep in the desert of Nevada, lines are open at 1-702-874-1114. That's 702-874-1114. Pahrump lines are open at 775-990-8275. That's 775-990-8275.
Now we're here with the captain, and we're waiting for your calls. And I want you to give us a call at that number, 702-874-1114. And I want you to ask this captain what is going on up there.
To talk with Glenn Larry, deep in the desert of Nevada, lines are open at 1-702-874-1114. That's 702-874-1114. Now, here again, Glenn Larry.
And we are back, yes, for sure. We're the captain. Yes. The Galactic Guardian Space Force and Delta 18, I guess it was called. I don't understand. Once these ships are here, and they're not being seen right now, but once your cloaking device or whatever you guys are using, which it has failed a couple times apparently, because you guys have been seen. I mean, a huge craft was seen over Alaska. I mean, very huge. I mean, just unbelievable. And how close can you come to the Earth? Of course, you can land, I guess. I mean, but you're up so high. Is it a problem landing somewhere?
Never a problem. No, we have designated, and we're always strategically located and locations that we can land on, at, in. And with that being said, that's why it's so important to go to places in your mind, in your life, that really make you feel good.
I see.
We have this halo system.
Okay.
And the halo system gives you this type of energy. Yeah. And when you go to new parts of the planet, we already have things set up for you guys, to experience a whole new higher vibrational way of experiencing your life.
And you've made preparations with the government, the Air Force, the military, to land also in their areas too?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, they work in conjunction with us, and we give them orders and say, okay, This is how we're going to do things. And like the military is for the ground operations of Earth. Space Force is over all the military, which gives us full access everywhere. And we just move. It's like a puzzle piece, you know. We got God on the ground. We got God in the sky, like the land, air, the water. See, that's just a metaphor for land, air, water. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the land, air, the water is the law of the land, and that's a natural law. Well, and nature's, you know, and then God just says, okay, well, it's time to open up. It's time to create a whole new way of being, and to live naturally for everyone, to live in peace and harmony, and to get these, you know, get the game going.
Now, with all this, let me ask you about the radiation part of it. How do you get rid of all that? I mean, I've heard of some folks that have been close to your ships and they have gotten very, very sick, and a couple of them died.
Question.
A couple have died.
Yeah, I know. Had a lot of, and we've seen that going on here with the Regenerate, the Solarium, the Mana technology. It allows, basically, it cleans out the blood system, which gets all these, you know, like all the toxins out and all the vaccines that's been going on here. Well, we've been doing studies with the technology, and that's why we've been taking some of these beings on ships and giving them, well, our light infusion technology, our lit and our magnetic infusion technology, because we've already scripted that. And so basically, they've been going on our ships doing these tests. And I've had many, you know, there's many cases of beings here and said, you know, I've seen you on the ship, Captain, doing these tests, being in classrooms. And well, that's been our technology that allows them to go on the ships and to get reinstated with God. And that allows you for further space travel and to live very long. Isn't that great?
Okay, Cap, we're going to go to commercial. We will be back, folks, after this.
Mom, you wanted to talk to me?
The calendar hypnosis into thumbtack cushion, completely tailwind. And sewing elephants plant before cartoon paper cups. So numbers renovate.
If your teenager is trying drugs or alcohol, would you know the right words to use?
Afterward, lightly fish scale. Doorbell.
Find out what to say at drugfree.org. A message from the Partnership for a Drug-Free America.
You ignore the signs, so you enable.
You don't want to sound like a hypocrite, so you enable.
You don't want to alienate your child, so you enable.
But if you think they're trying drugs, you shouldn't be afraid.
You are the parent.
So you are able.
You are strong.
So you are able. There are others just like you.
So you are able.
And we can help. So you are able.
Get help at drugfree.org. A message from the Partnership for a Drug-Free America.
And we're back with the captain. Oh, yes. Wow. I'll tell you for sure, my good friend. Gosh, radiation, how you guys take care of that. And I've heard different things where so many times folks have been, I don't know how you say, zapped or whatever by the light and taken, and actually were healed. And that is that a common thing? I have not heard much from folks that have. I know they've been probed and all sorts of stuff and tested and what have you. A lot of them have bad memories of that or just can't handle it psychologically. Certain folks are handling it. And I know a couple of folks have had things removed from their bodies and things have been planted in their bodies, like some type of device that tracks them. I had a friend that the one was removed from his back and bothered him for years. And it looked like a piece of metal, but a very odd shape. And the docs didn't know what it was, of course, but his wife finally pulled it out. We looked at it and got a picture of it. And apparently, we don't know. He actually threw it away of all things. Darn it. But he didn't want anything to do with it. I mean, it's my buddy Ken. and it was just a very weird, odd shape. In fact, I got it up on the right now on the screen, and that came out of its back. A little smaller than that, but that's kind of blowing a picture. And yeah, that was not fun for him. And a lot of folks have reported stuff like this. But so now you have the chance to heal these people also, or these different crafts. Are you the same old group? I mean, you got different species out there. Where are you at? Where's your divine guys now? Your guard.
The divine guides, yeah. I mean, great question. To heal the world is such a, it's been the largest mission ever prescribed and, inserted into the Akashic records to, come back and to, do this mission, you guys, and to really put this type of loving energy, which, love is an acronym for limitless oscillating vibrational energy. I've thought that before many times. When you can quantify love in such a small scale, Larry, it's like just your voice. Imagine, all the lives that you've affected over, last, like your whole life, because you've always been meant to talk about this, and so we can see, who's been talking. It's kind of like Santa Claus. You're making like we're making a list, checking it twice, and well, it's all us talking with God and the Galactic Ordos to really come into a higher learning and into the school of higher learning. Now it's time to come into our new sense of awareness and say, you know what, I can, God's here, and if you have any issues with, your body, your mind, spirit, it's going to cause dis-ease. And we've come to dispel that and say, well, it's really not that. It's just, on the technology.
Gotcha.
That's why it's spoken of in the book of Acts of the Holy Spirit.
Right. We have a caller, Captain. We have a caller.
Excellent.
Like to go into the caller. Running out of time here. Caller, what's your name? Where are you from, please?
My name's Ken. I'm from Florida.
All right, Ken, you have a question for the captain? Go ahead. You're live.
I have a question for him. What would your age be?
Well, my age. Well, I look like I'm about 25 years old, 24. I look young, and, this technology is called a SRA, SRT, so it puts you back in a state, it's a great question, Ken, of, it's called solar recapitulation assimilation or soul transference technology assimilation. And, as I developed this technology, I had issues with my lungs and, mind, body, spirit. And, well, it's made me back into my true form, where you become eternal. So that's a great question. So we have to dispel the idea of, well, how old are you? It's like, well, it's like how many lifetimes have you had to come back into your divine state of awareness? And we can always tell who has, this most divine spirit are the ones, that are asking these type of questions because you're curious, and that's why God's here, because these are divine messages. And, and we hear all the calls and we've heard everything. And that's why I'm here, is to kind of funnel you guys into this new way of life and to say, you know what, I can be like that too. I can be at my highest, and it reverses your aging. Okay, it's why it's called inverse technology. And that's why we invented it. So when we came here, well, we'd have this technology, Ken, and well, you can live forever.
Well, why is all the evil, the killing of the horses and the cattle? Man, I've seen that in person. Why they come down here and cut the guts and stuff out of them and suck all the stuff out of them and disappear?
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen this in person. I know this happened. It happened in Pennsylvania. It happens in
Montana, everywhere.
Yeah, why? And if you're to make peace, we should have peace in all these countries instead of the killing and the bombing and the destroying. And they're just destroying the atmosphere, and they're changing the weather patterns. It's not that there's a global warming or anything like that. You can't put all that pollution in the air and not expect it to change the weather. Now, I live here in Florida, and this is the coldest winter I've ever seen in Florida. I'm not going in my swimming pool. My swimming pool right now is 65 degrees. It should be normally 88, 89. I'm not going in that pool. The weather is changing. It's not getting hotter. It's getting colder.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got more ice growing at the North Pole, and you got ice growing at the South Pole. You got it growing at both ends.
Yeah, that's part of the process, of this new aging process. Like with the computer system, just think of like the mind creates, what you want to experience, and so with the computer system, like we have to have a colder influx to bring in these shifts because there's so much like radionic heat, which is there's so much love coming from everybody, and so it has to be at a cooler climate, like a cold climate system. So when we start to get closer to Earth and we come in and we activate, what needs to be done to show ourselves, the system has to be at a cooler operating system for our ships to decloak, okay, and for us to come to here, and it's technology. So it was always going to occur, and so that's why we always encourage, to always look up, and and you can always go into new places, So never, like Captain always says, there's nothing ever to fear with your jobs, with anything in life. That's why I came here, is to put everyone's mind at ease, is that we're here as ambassadors, emissaries of God, to just know that everything's going to be fine for you guys.
Anything else?
Sure
don't look fine to me. I see trouble every place I look. I see them here in Florida. They're killing each other, going in houses, killing each other, and it's got
changed the way you see.
It's got about 80% worse in the past 4 years, ever since the new administration, and now we got major problems. I mean, we give the enemy an army, and we support the terrorists. I mean, jeez. They support us a little bit, not the terrorists, but they're supporting the terrorists. Billions and billions and billions of dollars. Mm-hmm. And it's just not good. You can't blow everything up and put all that crap in the atmosphere and not change the weather conditions.
Oh, that's right. Oh boy.
I mean, they changed El Nino so bad that El Nino don't know which way to go. Now it's going to give us a couple of days of warm weather, then it's going to put us down to 30s and the 40s again, and that's not Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know Florida's like a book, and that is not Florida. And it's not just here where I'm at. It's the whole state. It's the whole state.
Climate change. Yeah, that's the Earth's rotation that tilts. There's a tilt in a rotation axis, and when that happens, it's like a pole shift. And when the pole shifts, things change on the planet, and it's been spoken about, in other religious texts, and there's always a climate shift. And when this is the holy shift, and we're shifting all of our hearts, mind, body, and spirit into becoming, one with God. So, just always look forward to the best and look, at what you're grateful for in life. And, sometimes, God works in mysterious ways, and
they're bombing and they're shifting the plates, and they're causing volcanoes, they're causing tidal waves, we're doing it. We're destroying it ourselves right here.
We're coming to top of hours, gentlemen. We're going to have to sign off soon here. I want to thank Ken for calling up. We were waiting for your call, Ken. I was hoping you'd call in. And I want to thank the captain here for being a part of the show tonight. Boy, I don't know what the answer is, gentlemen, but I'll tell you one thing. There's going to be a change, and I hope it's all for the good, to the truth. Ken, again, thank you for calling in. Ken, thank you.
You're welcome, Larry.
All right, be well. Thank you, sir.
You have a good one.
You too. Thank you, buddy. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, Captain, another great show again. And we want to thank you from K-Ghost Radio, and we're going to have you back.
I really appreciate you guys, Larry. You're amazing, and really appreciate you putting out the message. Couldn't do without you, buddy, and thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.
All right, buddy. Be well. God bless. Play well, everybody. God bless you. Be well. Thank you. We'll see you next Tuesday night for another good show.